The Golden Rule, the official sponsor of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, is located at 606 South Church Street in Georgetown, Texas. Each drinks unmatched atmosphere. Above all else, goodwill, friendship, and kind regard.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Golden Rule and 606 South Church Street, host of your Eagle Baseball Coaches Show live here on SHN. Hopefully the speakers are working tonight. Usually my tester there, Mr. Peters, pays attention and lets me know. We sounding all right? We got two speakers tonight, so hopefully we can hear it a little bit better. A couple of guests to join us tonight. Andrew Nations and Brandon Stovall will be along with us, two of the Eagle baseball players, along with head coach Jordon Vierra here in just a second. The Georgetown Eagles headed to the playoffs officially tomorrow night to take on the Navarro Vikings in by-district play. The Navarro Vikings out of District 24, your Eagles lone district champions. District 23 this year, a 13-1 record. A great performance by these young men as they ran through this district almost unimpeded, but one hiccup, and I tell you what, back on the right path that next Friday night. A good win over a good Round Rock baseball team on a Saturday tilt, and then a tilt with Bastrop and three busy games there back-to-back to end the regular season. And now tomorrow night over at Nelson Field in Austin, we'll be live at 6:45, 7 o'clock first pitch. The Eagles will take on the Navarro Vikings and an opportunity for this team to just kind of set the pace for the playoffs. Another run. This team is not strangers to playoff baseball. A great run last year that ended at 16.2 miles away at the Dell Diamond in a nice dog pile with a 2-1 state title victory. And this team trying to follow suit as they start the playoffs tomorrow live here. We'll have it on SHN thanks to some very generous sponsors. An opportunity in the last year or so. NFHS and UIL turned things around, and during the playoffs, different broadcast crews could pick up different series, and they could bring them to you, but you had to go to NFHS, pay the subscription fee to listen to your own team, and it was taken out of our hands. And this year, we got the option to apply for it, and we've got some sponsors that are stepping in and paying the fees at each series, and we will highlight them during each series. We'll have a commercial played for them that Kelly Duvall is going to put together to thank them over and over in each game that we play in the series. And so there's some anonymous donors out there, boosters of Georgetown Eagle baseball that are going to be a part of this, and a couple of local businesses that have stepped up and taken the sponsorship on just to take it off our shoulders and let it be brought to you free. So your family and friends that are across the nation, around, that can access YouTube. You can find out and follow Georgetown Eagle baseball during the playoff run. We know we have series number 1 against Navarro. That was confirmed today, so we'll bring it live here on SHN tomorrow night at Nelson Field, Friday night back home at Eagle Field, and then Saturday, if needed, at 1 p.m. at Eagle Field as well. We will be there for each and every game. After each game, we'll visit with Coach Vierra there on the field, and so we're so thankful to those sponsors and look for those as and we can't thank them enough. And so they will be highlighted each and every game during the series in which they sponsor. And so we are so appreciative to all the sponsors that help bring you Georgetown Eagle baseball and throughout the year. So many different sponsors in this town that step up to bring free broadcast to you so family and friends can enjoy each and every game. The Georgetown Eagles come in 20-12-1 after the regular season as they head to the playoffs to take on the Navarro Vikings. As this team gets ready to go tomorrow night. Several players here tonight, and just a fun atmosphere. Playoff baseball is like none other. There's so many great sports going on right now at Georgetown. They prepped for this. It was beautiful. The city of Georgetown had the two-step in, and then they had the Red Poppy Festival, and then cleared the calendar for your Georgetown Eagles playoff run to start here live this weekend. We'll take a quick time out when we come back, and head coach Jordon Vierra joins us on this tonight's fireside chat theme for at the Golden Rule here on the couch. But we'll bring you head coach Jordon Vierra. We'll visit and talk about Eagle baseball before visiting with Andrew Nations and Brandon Stovall. Thanks for joining us live here at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street. More Eagle Baseball Coaches Show after this on SHN. Back here live at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street for the Eagle Baseball Coaches Show as we bring it here live now with head coach Jordon Vierra. And coach, first and foremost, congratulations. 20-12-1, but more importantly, 13-1 and district champs. Another great run for this team, another district championship under the leadership of you, Jordon Vierra, and your staff. What a staff you've assembled. I tell you what, Coach Payne, second to none. As well, and yeah, I just switched it. You're on the delay. Calm down, Dave. Dave's giving me a headache in the crowd. Say, I'll get the grief from my partners. Kelly on the road tonight, so no grief yet. Text messages haven't popped up.
Those are the guys who are supposed to give it to you, though. The ones you care about.
Exactly. I tell you what, a great run. Your staff has, I think, coming into district, I think the questions were there. This team started out 6-10-1 as we started district play, and now to turn it 20-12-1. A great run, 13-1 in district. Talk about this team and this matchup as we start the playoffs tomorrow night at Nelson Field against the Navarro Vikings. This team, different from last year's team, their own identity.
Yeah, very much so.
And a great year, though, that they went out and won this district in their first go at District 23.
Right, very much so. I mean, we've kind of talked about it a couple times before. It's the group that we have this year, they're not very battle-tested. For the majority of the guys, we have the core group of senior guys that were able to make that run and be a part of that and be in the fire and be in the middle of that. But then we got a bunch of juniors as well. That the conversation that we had with the juniors at the beginning of the year, while they were wide-eyed and freaking out at times, was this is the first competitive game you've ever played, right? Everything leading up to this has been club ball that doesn't matter, or it's been JV or freshman baseball that didn't really matter. And all of a sudden you're putting a Georgetown varsity jersey and you're playing varsity tournaments, and all of a sudden it means something more. And so to get the guys to calm down and realize it's just the game of baseball, it's a game that they've been playing for a very long time, and to see them settle in into that position and to see the strides that they've made through the 3 weeks of tournament baseball and then turning that into the past 6 weeks of district play and watching them grow and mature and get better at all the different aspects of the game. And these guys have absolutely worked their tail off. They earned the right to be called district champions this year, and they've grown along the way. I mean, there was stuff happening in a game that we played today called Blitz that 4 weeks ago wouldn't have happened, just with the knowledge that they've tried to soak in, the experiences that they've tried to grow in. And as we step foot into the playoffs next week, I'm really excited to watch this group continue to grow and continue to flourish and continue to figure out those things along the way and make a quality run.
We talked about it all year long about these that core group of seniors, like you said, some of them in role spots last year that are now leaders on this team. And as we go into it, right before we got here, got going, I was talking to Nolan Jondahl, one of the three main starters for this team, who last year was that role player off the mound, on the mound, out of the bullpen that started the only third game of a series, that came in key spots during the season, and now one of the key starters on this team that has led this team through this district, and just seeing how these seniors have stepped into those roles, and yet the juniors have followed right back into place. like these guys did last year.
Right.
To see what Brady Peters has done to come out of in his role, 1 at third base, 2 on the mound. To see Kyle Ropolo dominate on the mound and taking that role, but yet being one of the key leaders of this team.
Right.
And controlling the atmosphere in that dugout. But then when it's time to go, the ball in his hand, ready to go, he's locked in and throwing on the mound. And so it's just been fun to watch because the identity as it has developed through this season, to see those players that were in the role spots last year become those leaders and to see them flourish. That's been so fun. I was so excited. I remember last year at Pokey Joe's after the Marble Falls game, I was talking to Nolan John Dahl, and I was like, man, how does it feel? And he's like, he's a junior. And I was like, what? We get you back next year? That was so exciting. And so to see him now take on that role this year as a senior that has stepped in and led this team on the mound as he did on Saturday. Last week when we had the doubleheader there against Bastrop when he stepped in on Saturday morning in the key game that was the end of district and had another dominant performance. And so just been fun to watch. And then you get players stepping in like an Andrew Nations that we'll talk to tonight, like a Devin Peterson. It takes you talk about a spot to fill there, to go in and fill that center field spot, that the captain, that leader of the outfield, and a junior steps into that role and plays that. How much does that help this team as you look towards next year's team, not to look past this season, but at these juniors that will come back with that kind of experience and be ready to lead this team again?
Yeah, I mean, what's been cool is the juniors have really soaked in all the information that they can from the seniors, and at no point has there ever been a clash between classes or this is my year. Or anything dealing with that kind of animosity. It's been the juniors want to learn as much as they can from the seniors, and the seniors want to build into those guys. And so for those guys to really soak in those lessons and to try and understand what the process looks like and how we play the game and then all the different things that go along into it, that's just another piece of this senior class's legacy of what they've continued to do. Like I told the seniors last week at the senior day, I said, man, you guys have done a lot of things that a lot of classes haven't done through here during your time with 2 district titles, back-to-back district titles, a state championship, and a number of other things that just constantly go overlooked. But these seniors have done nothing but lead. And when you got a group of juniors and underclassmen that are similar, they see what that good role model looks like, of what it looks like to be a good senior and to be somebody who's a steward of the information and not a gatekeeper of the information, but somebody who's willing to continue to pass that down. I think if we can continue a culture of perpetuating information instead of it being about, well, this is about me and it's not about you, I think that we're on a pretty good track to continue the legacy of the G and to continue the culture of the program that's led us to the position that we're able to be in right now. It always just takes a solid group of guys to really buy into that thought process and to make it something that's more about themselves. And both the seniors and this underclassmen group have done a phenomenal job of both those things.
As we look at the end of regular season now, before we even start that playoff talk to us about JV and freshmen this year. What kind of seasons did they have? The future of this program that sits out there that battled, and sometimes they lost games due to rainouts and had to make them up on different days. They had to fly on a different radar just because of different days to shuffle. We played their last district games on Monday, I believe it was, after district ended for varsity. Talk about the future of Georgetown baseball with the freshmen and JV teams and how they did this year.
They both had phenomenal years. We were able to see a lot of really good stuff happening in both those teams, from pitching to catching to quality defense. Had some guys step up and really swing the bat really well on both those teams. It's always fun to see the young guys grow, right? The freshmen show up all wide-eyed and having no idea what this Georgetown baseball thing's about, and to watch them get baptized in the fire that is the dump of information that we give them through the first 3 weeks, and watching them figure out how to digest that information, and watching them still chewing on it in week 6 of district is always a fun process to see them go through. And then you get to see the sophomores rather on the other side who have a full year and a half of being a part of the system, and seeing what that looks like, and then being able to perpetuate that on through their sophomore year as a JV player is fun to watch them take those steps. I think that with the couple of underclassmen groups that we have, we really think that the future of Georgetown baseball is bright. That we got a bunch of guys that are bought into the process of what we're trying to teach and what we're trying to do, and they don't bat an eye too often. about what we're asking them to do, and then when they understand the why of what we do things, then they start to really understand it. And I think that that after we keep moving forward, and this freshman and sophomore class end up coming up with us, I think we got a chance to make a couple of runs at it. We're excited about the future, and we're really looking forward to it.
You talk about that and the future of this, and you look back to last year and now what some of those kids have brought to this senior team, to this varsity team, and what they've contributed. It's been fun to watch them as they developed into this and know the future is in the same safe hands. And then talk to us about Coach Cockrell in his first season, how things went for him as he jumped into your system with Coach Payne, and how he jumped in and how that went for him in his baptismal year.
Yeah, so Coach Cockrell did a great job. He's a guy that's going to show up and he's going to work hard every day. He's going to ask questions. He's going to figure out what we're trying to do. Not necessarily going to be a guy that's going to try and step in and overhaul everything, which I appreciate personally. And, we got a pretty good recipe for success. And he coming over from Cedar Park, he had some quality stuff to add to what we were doing as well, and some different things to think about. Having him as a guy that was helping with our sub-varsity teams, he did a great job, and we're exceptionally happy that he's been a part of our staff, and thankful that he's been able to build into these guys. We put a lot of stock in the coaches that we get for the sub-varsity teams because those guys are the future, right? We don't get to the varsity coaches don't necessarily get to spend as much time as we would like to with them. Granted, we do spend more time with our sub-varsity teams than most other schools in Central Texas do. But just the ability to have good baseball guys at a sub-varsity position is not something that's very common. And to have a guy like Coach Cockrell and a guy like Coach Durrell who's able to kind of flex in that position and help out there and build into those guys and teach them the standards of what we're trying to do, the basics of what we're trying to do, and get them to understand that. So by the time they show up with us on the varsity level, there's not a huge chasm to jump. It's just another step along the way.
We look now to the playoffs tomorrow night. First, I guess we got to address it. Y'all were talking about it before we started. Weather-wise, if it's not hailing, if it's lightning, and there's not puddles, we'll play tomorrow. If it does rain, what order? Any contingency plans should rain play a major factor tomorrow night or through the weekend? Yeah,
so not overly worried about the rain. Right now they're calling for a third of an inch. They're calling for it to be later in the evening right now. Hopefully that continues to be the case, or hopefully it bumps up earlier and moves on through pretty quick. If there's no puddles, if there's no lightning, we're going to try and play as long as it's safe for the guys to be on the field, and we don't have to worry about anybody sliding out from underneath them or losing their footing too much. I think that we'll try and make that happen. If for some reason we make every possible opportunity or take every possible chance to play, and we're not able to get it in, then it flips over in a 3-game set at our place. Then we'll play Friday night at our place, and then game 2 at 1 o'clock on Saturday, and if needed would be 30 minutes after that or 45 minutes after that. We purposely planned it that way, knowing that turf fields are going to be hard to come by for the first-round district, and they know that their field doesn't have turf, and ours does, and so that was a concession that they were willing to make to make sure that we were able to get the games in.
We go to a Navarro Viking team tomorrow out of Austin ISD, a district there that you see kind of a big separation between 1 through 4 and then 5 through 8. And we go to be in the district champions of 23. We play the 4th seeded team out of District 24, which is Navarro. What do we look for in Navarro? Looking at their roster, you look at the Georgetown roster, a large number. You can carry many players, a very rich program in numbers and in history. And then Navarro, you look at their roster, only 14 players. What do we look at there against Navarro, and what are we going to run into with the Vikings?
Yeah, I think that they're going to be a competitive team, right? I don't think that they're going to be a team that's just going to roll over and go away at any point. They came through a district that is very equal across the board for the most part, especially that top section. Those top 4 teams are pretty competitive within each other. But I think that they're going to be a team that they're not just going to go away. I think they're going to be a team that's going to show up and they're going to continue to compete and play. Their head coach is a guy that does a really good job and really coaches hard and gets after those guys. So, I fully anticipate it being a competitive game with those guys giving us the best that they can for as long as they can. And For us, it's never about the other opponent, right? I know it's cliche at this point to continue to say, but it's the truth around here. Is doesn't matter who's in the other dugout for us. Regardless of if it's Friendswood and playing for a state title, or if it's Navarro when we're playing in the first round, right? We're constantly talking about faceless opponents, and the scoreboard doesn't matter. We're playing against a game of baseball, and so our goal tomorrow is to show up and play a quality game of baseball, and to be able to throw as many strikes as we can and play quality defense behind it, and then get to first base. And so, if we're able to do a good job in all three aspects of that, I think we got a pretty good chance to win.
Georgetown is the visitor tomorrow night, scheduled in Game 1 over at Nelson Field. 7 o'clock first pitch, as long as the weather holds out for us. And then Friday night we'll be back home at the friendly confines of Eagle Field at Georgetown High School. 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch, and if necessary, Saturday at 1 o'clock back home at Eagle Field. I think, easy question. You'd rather just end this in 2 and go to the weekend and get ready for round 2?
Amen.
We'll take a quick time-out. I knew it was short and sweet. Knew it would be easy. Kelly chimed in. Kelly says hello, so shout out to our other partner, Kelly Duvall, on the road tonight. He's back in the travel mode and back in teaching his classes he does each and every week. And so a shout out to our buddy Kelly Duvall, as he does a lot of our IT and prep work on the computers and sends it to us. He's got those commercials ready to thank our sponsors, as we will tomorrow night live on SHN. We just can't say thank you enough to all the sponsors out there that are willing to bring it to you and keep it free, so all the fans and friends and family can enjoy Georgetown baseball through this playoff run with this 2023 Eagle team. We'll take a quick time out. When we come back, Andrew Nations will join us, the junior outfielder, and we'll talk more Eagle baseball with that young man here in just a minute, live from the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street in Georgetown, Texas. Be right back here on SHN. Back here live at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street, proud sponsor of the Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. Live here on SHN. A nice crowd here tonight on the patio. A beautiful night to talk Eagle baseball here. A beautiful night, not too hot, not too cool. And now the pressure's on. I bring up Andrew Nations as your teammates' chairs turn. The staring begins. Andrew Nations joins us. He wears number 10 on his uniform. Usually you find him out in left field for your Eagles defensively. Andrew, thanks for joining us tonight. And as we bring you up here, man, talk about this junior year. How's it been for you? You've stepped in, not only one of the younger guys to step in on this team, but then to step into a starting role and become one of the key players on this Eagle team.
Yes, sir. It's been fun. Just trying to soak it all in because it goes by fast. So,
how much fun has it been after that turn? I've asked several of the players after that turn, a tough non-district season on purpose. The coaches set that up for you guys and to challenge you and to prepare you, but then you turned into district. How much fun has it been in this district run to go 13-1 in your junior year as one of these starters, and to be able to say district champions? How much fun is that once that turn made and you guys started kind of clicking on all cylinders?
Yeah, it's definitely nice to. It's a little less pressure, I think, playing some of the best teams in Texas at the beginning of the year. Now we're getting a chance to. I think we've gotten a lot better over the last couple weeks in district. I think we built a little bit of confidence too. So.
As you stepped into one of the starting roles there playing in the outfield, what kind of pressure, as you came up and quickly figured out, hey, I'm going to be one of these key figures on this team and I'm going to be a starter and working in the outfield, what kind of pressure was on you guys, you and your class as juniors, one, to step in on a team that just won a state title, to see these seniors out here that have this nice ring, that have a medal, but yet the program and what the bar was set by Coach Vierra and that team. How much pressure was on you guys as you came in as the junior class to try to perform, but yet be a part of this team, fit in, and now make it and kind of put your spin on it and continue to carry that G?
I definitely think there's a lot of pressure knowing that there's a target on our back every day, but I think we've handled it well. I mean, everybody shows up every day and gets to work, and I think our preparation definitely helps us, and I think we're confident we're going to go compete every day.
What makes Andrew Nations tick outside of baseball? What is life for Andrew Nations and a lot of school right now for you guys? I know testing starting up, a bunch of AP testing coming up. It was awesome to see Coach or Mr. Johnson talking about that, and all you guys as you go through your finals coming up. What makes Andrew Nations tick outside of baseball? What do you like to do? What do you? We learned David Fluitt likes to fish. If you can get him near the coast, what makes you tick?
I like fishing too. Just hanging out with my buddies.
On this team, as they all sit here and look at you, it's kind of fun to watch them as they kind of give you the pressure as you talk. Have you felt as the pressure you were talking about, you felt that pressure coming in, has that dwindled? Is it a confidence that's coming about you guys as this team? Or how has that worked for you internally as you try to take a leadership role but yet be a key contributor on this, knowing you've got these seniors that have this experience?
Yeah, I definitely think in tournament seasons we were getting our butt kicked, and we were kind of all just but I think now we've kind of started thinking, why not us? I mean, we did it last year. There's no reason we can't do it this year. I mean, I think everybody's starting to get a little excited about it. But
how has this team come together since that in this run? And when things started kind of coming to mind in your mindset that, hey, we can make a run at this. We've got a good team. We've come together. How has that turned in the tightness of this team as you guys have bonded together? And how has that changed as it gotten further into the season?
I think through the tournament we stick together, and we knew we were going to get through it, and I think we've just stuck together. I think we've grown together really good through last 10, 15 weeks together. So
as you look towards, if we set aside the playoff run, as you look towards your senior year, how much fun and how much are you challenging yourself to become one of these leaders? You look at what Brady Peters, what Nolan John Dahl, what Chance Pernica, these seniors have done. There's several of them on this team. Do you challenge yourself as you get and start to think about that senior year next year to become one of these leaders, to continue the G and the tradition there and pass that down? Or how does that look for you as you work towards that?
I just try to worry about tomorrow. So I don't really think about next year too much.
I love the simple answer. It's awesome. Tomorrow, speaking of tomorrow, how excited are you guys as a team, away from the coaches, when you guys are talking, when you're around the school, walking around as you get ready? You know tomorrow is game one. How excited are you guys for the playoffs to get started and to step on that field tomorrow?
I think we're all pretty excited, but I think we all kind of know it's just another game, and we're just going to go out and do what we do.
Andrew Nations, number 10 on your Georgetown Eagle roster. Any shout-outs before I let you go?
Shout out my barber, Nolan John Dahl, and super fan John Peters.
Andrew Nations, the junior outfielder, live here on the Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. We'll take a quick time out. When we come back, a guy that I have misstated his name 100 times, and we'll just go with Brandon Stovall. He'll join us next live here on the Eagle Baseball Coaches Show from the Golden Rule.
The Golden Rule, the official sponsor of the Eagle Nation Coaches Show, is located at 606 South Church Street in Georgetown, Texas. Each drinks unmatched atmosphere. Above all else, goodwill, friendship, and kind regard.
Back here live at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street, sponsor of your Eagle Baseball Coaches Show live here on SHN. We now visit with senior, and so different, the numbers 13 on baseball. He did not wear 13 on the defensive line for the football team this year, but he wears 13 in the baseball uniform, the baseball dugout. It is Brandon Stovall, one of your seniors here on this Eagle baseball team. Brandon, we got to talk to you in football, and now we get to talk to you in baseball. This senior year, it's been quite a run for you. I tell you what, the football team running 3 games into the playoffs, a good run there in your senior season. And now I got to ask you before, and I'll get you to talk about it. Now you see this spring ball out there, and you're in baseball knowing graduation's coming. How much do you miss that football?
Yeah, I miss it. I would say it's hard to watch it, walk by it and see it, and know I'm not going to get to play that sport again. But it's hard because I'm not going to miss the injuries that it's caused. Like, I've had some brutal injuries in football and played through them, but I'm not going to miss that. But I will miss the brothership like I have in baseball, the brothership I had in football. I mean, I go to school and I see, almost every guy that plays athletics is basically one of my brothers. And that's what I'm going to miss the most.
One of the guys we every time we mentioned your name during football, it seemed like we were mentioning Tyler Duncan's name as well. You guys on the defensive end. Now Tyler going in another sport as well. Had a great run in the hurdles this year for this track team. I made it to regionals. I think finished sixth in hurdles in the region, but a great year. As you look now, you're in your second sport of baseball. As the senior graduation days are coming, as this playoffs start, knowing it's the end of another sport for you, and as you look forward to what's going to become your next home there at Ottawa University, how does this look at? How has this year been for you? If you sit back, have you sat back and looked at it and just thought about what a year it's been?
No, I haven't really got to sit back and look at it because I just want to keep going day by day and just keep playing. I'm going to miss it, obviously, but, at the end of the day, I'm going to be going to college. It's going to be a new home, and I'm just excited to get to go move on to the next level and just get to play.
For those of us that have no clue where Ottawa is, tell us about where you're going to be headed to school after graduation.
I'm heading to the private school. It's a private school in Kansas. It's about 20 minutes from Lawrence, Kansas, where Kansas KU is. But it's a NAIA, and it's just really in the middle of Kansas, so I wouldn't be surprised if no one knew where it was.
Lawrence, it's kind of like what people used to say about Georgetown. It's about 20 miles outside of Austin, and now it's where Georgetown is, and so maybe Brandon Stovall will put Ottawa on the map. You just don't know. Give it some time. As you go to the playoffs here, how much fun have you had in this senior year? One, it seems like the injuries have subsided. Baseball seems to be a little bit more friendly to the body for you.
A little bit.
After a good football year. How much fun has this senior baseball season been for you guys in this senior class as you guys look to wrap this up?
Oh, it's been extremely fun. I mean, new faces, obviously, the juniors coming up and getting to see them and, getting to coach them around and play with them. And half of them play over me. I know it. I ain't going to lie about it. And it's awesome to get to watch them play, though, and just see them out there and get to see them learn every play at a time. And that's the excitement part for me and getting to become close with these guys.
You guys, before every game, seem as a team to be so relaxed. As you warm up on the side, the football's being thrown. You see other teams come out, and they get in this. It seems so militaristic at times. They get up, and they got to go through this warm-up. And you guys seem to be relaxed, that this team just kind of gels together, goes through your preparation, some sitting down, stretching, some throwing, some, and then Nolan Jondo and Chance Bernicka out at the fence and running back and forth and playing warm-up with each other. How much fun, as this team is gelled together, how laid back is it as you guys get ready for games to be focused but yet to be relaxed? How does that work for you guys?
I don't know how to really answer that one because, in game time, before games, it's relaxed. You're supposed to relax before a game because you're about to go play 8 innings, or seven innings. Sorry, I'm thinking of pro ball for some reason in college, but 7 innings. You're going out to play 7 innings. It's like football, how I see it, football. You're going to play. It's a war. It's a battle. You're going to battle against these other guys, the faceless opponents. So you relax and you get ready for the battle. But, when it's practice time, it's everybody's head down. We're working as hard as we can. There is no relax during practice.
How do you ever get your coaches to relax with you guys and kind of relax and not be so uptight? I know Coach Vierra is kind of a systematic approach. It's hard to even get a lineup card out of the guy before early enough in the game to prep my book. But how do you get him and Coach Payne to ever relax with you guys? Are you ever successful with that?
I just play with it. We play around with each other. Me and Vierra have our jokes. We throw back at each other, and Payne, obviously. And that kind of, in my opinion, I think that could help it. But I think if the coaches really understand that when it comes game time, that's what we need as a team to relax before we go play and do our own routine because this team's built off routines. Everybody has their own routine. So if our routine is me throwing the football with Kyle and somebody's routine is stretching, well, that's it. We got to do our routine to get in the mindset of playing.
As you look back on your time at Georgetown High School, football, baseball, whatever it may be, classes, what is Brandon Stovall going to miss the most?
I don't
And
know.
recess, lunch, and office aid, anything like that are
Office
not
aid,
options.
okay.
Not options.
No, okay. I don't know. I've had a pretty good 4 years getting to play both sports all 4 years. I don't know. The friendships I've probably made is the best thing. I mean, the brotherhood, what I'm gonna admit is like that's the best part. Seeing these guys and like getting to meet new people in high school. Like coming freshman year when I showed up, it was scary, and then I met all the other freshmen, and you know what, we became close. And then as I've gotten older and I've met some of the younger guys, and it's just the brotherhood, the friendship I'm gonna miss.
You've invested a lot of time in two sports and all that. As you graduate and go, what does the future look like at Ottawa? When do you report? And are you going to be close to family? What's it going to be? It's just a whole new world and another freshman year. What does that look like for Brandon?
It looks like I'm going to drive 12 hours up to Kansas, and I'm going to unpack all my stuff, and then I'm going to put my head down and work. I mean, that's it. I got to earn my spot up in college. They're not handing me a spot, so I got to go up there and grind. And what it looks like is the classes. I got 4 classes a week and workouts in the mornings, and show up, do all my pitching routine, and then earn my spot. That's to put my head down and grind, and obviously keep up all my classes.
And what are you going to be studying at Ottawa?
I'm going to major in business and get my minor in law.
Awesome. Maybe he'll come back home, help us out here. That'd be awesome. Stovall Hawkins Law Firm in Georgetown. Before you know it, as you get ready to graduate, as you guys head to the playoffs tomorrow, how locked in are you guys as a team? As one of the seniors, how ready are you to go get on that field and start this process and another run towards, with obviously that goal being 16.2 miles away?
Right. I'm extremely ready. I'm ready to cheer on my team from the dugout and get everybody hyped up and look at the boys and get them ready to go, because, that's what I get ready for, is to make sure everybody else gets ready. So I'm excited. Extremely excited. I think we're going to do extremely well with the guys we got on the field, and we all have faith in each other, and that's the excitement part, because I know, John Dahl is going to go pitch well, Liney, Devin's going to go do what he does the best, and Brady's going to go make those diving plays at third. I trust them, and it's going to be fun to watch.
He's referring to Brady Peters, also known as Ranger, and Devin Peterson is Bullseye, as he continues to get hit by pitches. After I said that one time, this dude has been hit by more pitches this year. It's been fun to watch. But I had to ask, because I've become friends with your dad. How is he? He just had a procedure done, surgery the other day. How is he doing?
He's doing better. He just got to drive today. First day he's been able to drive. It was a little rough. I talked to him on the phone before I came up, and he seems like he's doing really well. I've been helping out with him for a while, for the last couple weeks since he got his surgery, and he's doing well. He's walking around, so that's all I can ask for.
Absolutely. We enjoyed seeing him on senior day. His pitch was a little sad underneath, knowing he was hurt and he just got out of surgery on Tuesday. So tell him we send our best regards. We hope he gets to feeling better.
He's watching right now, you can say.
That's awesome. Hey, we miss you. Maybe we'll see you Tuesday or tomorrow night, Friday, back home. But hope you're healing well at home. It's been fun to visit with him all through the year, from football now to baseball. It's just been a blast. And so, shout-outs before I let Brandon Stovall go?
Yeah, obviously John Dahl, PO, part of the POs, even though he gets to hit, which I don't think is fair. And then the other 2 POs, Kyle and Logan, they stay by my side 24/7, and those are my boys. Those are my ride or dies of my POs.
Number 13, Brandon Stovall, a senior here on your Georgetown Eagles. Thanks for stopping by. I've enjoyed it, man. Football and now baseball. And we'll take a quick time out here on the Eagle Baseball Coach Show. When we come back, we'll finish it up. Head coach Jordon Vierra will join us again, and we'll close it out live here from the Golden Rule. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back here on SHN. back here live at the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street, proud sponsor of the Eagle Baseball Coaches Show each and every week. And as long as the playoffs continue to run, we will continue to be here and bring you Eagle Baseball Coaches Show each and every week. And now Coach Vierra joins us back along with Mercer and Jameson up here. Coach, I tell you what, Central Texas baseball is some of the best baseball out there.
For sure.
It's been crazy to watch the district that we used to be a part of. Cedar Park, Rouse, Leander, and what all took place in that district this past week. Cedar Park coming out and winning themselves another district title. They shared in the title last year in the four-way tie, winning the title on a playoff game against Liberty Hill the other night. A lot of great baseball, and these Eagles seem to be right up there with it and just continue that run. How does it look here through the playoffs? I know we got good teams. Friendswood up there, been ranked all year. You've got a Grapevine team. Corpus Christi Ray, another great team out there. How does this look as we go into the playoffs? How does our path look for this team compared to last year and how we ran through the playoffs?
Yeah, it's going to be really competitive again. I mean, it's just like any other playoff run, right? You're going to have to play the best to ultimately win the whole thing. Different people kick around different ideas of, well, what if we come in this spot and we end up having the better route, or we have this route or that route? I mean, personally, I tend to not really buy into that philosophy. I mean, if you're going to win the whole thing, you got to run through them anyways. And to me, it really doesn't matter, right? The bracket's going to shake out the way the bracket shapes up, and our goal has never been to come in second or third or fourth at any point in time. So why would we want the second or third or fourth seed based off of the route per se that it takes in the tournament? So, for us, different people believe in different things, and for us, we want to be the one seed, and we want to go run, and we want to take on whoever comes up our way, and whoever's next on that list, we'd love to get after them.
We play against Navarro the next couple of days here in the bi-district round. What does the area round look like for us? Should Georgetown advance over Navarro? What are the two teams we look at, and what does that path take for us? Yeah,
the two teams that come up next are the winner of Belton and A&M Consolidated. Both two predominantly quality baseball clubs. You have Belton, who's always been competitive for a very long time through Central Texas baseball, and one of the used to be a 4A powerhouse, and now they've moved up to 5A. And they've been around for a long time with a lot of quality baseball, and so they have that history. And then you have A&M Consolidated, who's always been a legacy baseball team as well, who's always been able to win a bunch of games, and especially when it matters. So, we're excited about the opportunity to play both those teams, and started kind of doing our homework on what that would look like if we were to run into those guys. And, we're looking forward to hopefully making it past this weekend and then getting a matchup against one of those teams.
After round one, it's a best-of-3 series that the higher seed team gets the choices, and so we go to this 3-game series against Navarro. What are the future rounds play? For those that aren't familiar with it, that don't know, what does it look like from rounds 2, 3, 4, 5? How do those shake down? Single games, multi-games, is that between the two coaches? How does that work out, and what do you look for in all that?
Yeah, so, we typically have a conversation between the coaches and try and figure out which one we want to be able to do. For us personally, we're not typically a big fan of this one-game playoff. It's not something that we typically get excited for. But, again, we're typically going to push for the 3-game set. In a 3-game series, you typically expect that the better team's going to win, and you have more opportunities to be able to do so, whereas in a single-game set, just about anything can happen. So the conversation always comes back to, if you don't stop, you're going to have to go over there, and you just interrupted, and that's incredibly rude. And so we typically want to be in a spot where we can do that. So the conversation comes between the two head coaches. If we can agree to play a 3-game set, then it's all that matters. And the rest of it comes down to the ability to agree or win a coin flip.
When it goes past this, we worked it out with Navarro. They're tomorrow, home on Friday, Saturday if necessary. How do the future rounds work as well? Are they able to go home and home, or is it does it have to? At what point does it have to go neutral, or can it always stay home and home depending on the coaches?
Yep, doesn't have to go neutral until you play Del Diamond. Up until then, you can play home and home as much as you want if you can get the other guys to agree upon it. Unfortunately, the further away you get, the harder it is to get guys to want to agree to play home and home. So, I mean, when you're playing a team from South Houston or wherever that may be, the 3-hour or 3.5-hour jaunt to play home and home just typically isn't excited. We'll typically go to more of a neutral site in those types of situations.
This year we move to District 23 as we go through the playoffs. As you look at the bracket, as we go to by district area, and then you keep moving on there. Where does that take us in Region 3? Last year we obviously went a lot south as we played down in San Antonio as set, then in Jordon before coming back up to the Dell Diamond. Where does that take us in competition-wise, and what part of the state for Region 3?
It's more southeast through the Houston area. So round 2 is the College Station kind of area, and then you go further down in Houston and run through the majority of the Houston Metroplex schools and through that area. So that'll be where the majority of the competition that we have coming from for Region 3 comes for us. So we're looking forward to it.
The Georgetown Eagles tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at Nelson Field, down off of 290, and Berkman is the area. It's right there off the side of Northeast Early College, I believe it's what it used to be, old Reagan High School in Austin, Texas, the Reagan Raiders. But Nelson Field right there off of 290. Come join us live there. 7 o'clock first pitch. The Eagles will be the visitors tomorrow night. 6:45 will come live on SHN. Thanks to generous sponsors. I'm going to keep talking about it tomorrow. We'll highlight the sponsor for this round of the playoffs. Just so many people out there willing to help bring you Georgetown Eagle baseball here on this playoff run at no cost to you. We'll keep it live on SHN as long as we get awarded. That's how it works, just so you know. I've talked with Coach Vierra. As soon as playoff rounds are set when we advance, I'll get notification and submit the request to have the broadcast for SHN to keep it live and free for you guys on our YouTube channel. And so as we try to go forward, we have the sponsorships covered. Thanks to Mr. Peters and his work as the Booster Club president to lock in those sponsors. And it was no question. Coach Jordon, Vierra and I and Mr. Peters texted the other night on Saturday, hey, what's the thought? Here's 3 options. And we all agreed. We want to keep it live and free for you guys on SHN. But we needed some sponsorships. And, man, Sunday morning I had text from Mr. Peters that every round to the end is covered. We have generous sponsors out there. And so thank you so much for helping bring that each and every week. And so tonight's show brought to you here live by the Golden Rule. I tell you what, they've been here each and every week for us, and we thank them for allowing us to be here on this patio on this beautiful night. We look forward to going ahead and penciling in another night here next week. Mainly because I can't get Eli Hellman out here. And dadgummit, we're going to get Eli Hellman. He's one of the only seniors left that we haven't visited with this year, and one of the ones you just want to kind of chat with. He ran the gamut last year as a starting shortstop, one of the few juniors that saw a lot of playing time on this championship team, and now one of these leaders that plays a lot of time, the anchor at shortstop for this team. And so nothing else, please win this weekend, and someone please schedule Eli for next week. Wednesday, Thursday, he's booked up, please. We'll get Eli on here and continue to visit. And then once we go to the playoffs, the one thing we did last year, as players make plays and players step up and have performances in the playoffs, those will be the players we bring on and talk to them about that series and what happened. And so it could be pitcher and a batter. It could be 2 seniors. It could be 2 juniors. It could be a sophomore and a junior. Who knows? But one, we're going to get Eli Hellman. And if we have to have 3 people, we're going to get 3 next week. But we'll bring you those players that stepped up and had great performances as we talk about Eagle baseball as we look to move on through these playoffs. So good luck, Coach, against Navarro. Thursday and Friday night, we'll bring it live, and we'll visit with you live there on the field after Game 1, win, lose, or draw. Hopefully with a win, because those interviews are a lot easier.
And there won't be a draw.
And so hopefully the win then, because those interviews are a lot easier with you on the home plate area on the win. So
Amen.
I'm going to hope for those.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us live here from the Golden Rule, 606 South Church Street, proud sponsor of your Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. We'll be live tomorrow night, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock.
Show up, be
pitch.
loud, wear blue.
Every time. Thanks for joining us live here tonight. EFND. Thank you, Jameson. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Wally.